British racer Dan Ticktum has been axed from Red Bull's junior program mid-season, with the 20-year-old failing to make an impression in Japan's Super Formula Series, scoring just 1 point from 3 races. Ticktum was widely tipped for a Toro Rosso seat next year, but his results in Japan tipped the scale for the brand, despite being European Formula 3 runner-up in 2018 and taking back-to-back wins in Macau in 2017 and 2018. Horner explaining Ticktum's axing in Austria. It's a scheme that is results-based, and it wasn't working out, Horner said. Swedish driver Marcus Ericsson returned to an F1 cockpit this week for Alfa Romeo Racing in a post-Austrian Grand Prix test put on by Pirelli. The 28-year-old raced for 5 years in F1 to the end of 2018, first with Caterham, before a switch to Sauber, now Alfa Romeo, where he remains the reserve driver, while competing in IndyCar. Ericsson's best result of his debut season, a second in the second Detroit race behind winner New Zealander Scott Dixon. Ericsson piloted the Alfa Romeo C38 on Tuesday, testing Pirelli's 2020 compounds before handing the car over to race driver Antonio Giovinazzi. The Swede is expected to attend more F1 events after the 2019 IndyCar season finale. Tourist paradise Rio de Janeiro has strengthened its campaign to host the Brazilian Grand Prix from 2021, with the country's president Jair Bolsonaro stating it is now 99% likely. The switch would mean Rio's first F1 Grand Prix since 1989, with beloved Sao Paulo track Interlagos hosting every year since, but Bolsonaro says it was the only option to keep the event in Brazil.
We will not lose Formula One. The contract with Sao Paulo is due next year, and they decided to return Formula One to Rio de Janeiro. Obviously, it would be this or leaving Brazil. So, in a common agreement with local authorities and with Mr. Carey, there's a 99% chance or more of having Formula One from 2021 in Rio de Janeiro.
Formula One chairman and CEO Chase Carey refused to elaborate on the extent of the negotiations, but again mentioned the need for the sport to be in destination cities to expand its footprint.
We've talked about our races being spectacles. As an American, I've talked about every race being a Super Bowl. And we want to make our races events that captivate, really the entire city and region's, imagination when we're here.
A track layout for the Rio Motor Park has already been released by F1 circuit designers Tilker Engineers and Architects, with construction set to begin at the Diodoro region in September at a cost of $175 million, with room for 130,000 fans. President Bolsonaro said the motor park venue would become multi-use, with the prospect of also attracting Formula E. The Austrian Grand Prix is a highly anticipated event on the F1 calendar, and with the race put on by Red Bull, it's an energetic affair, with all the pre-race PR taken to the next level. This year's edition saw Max Verstappen hit the streets of Dr. Helmut Marko's hometown of Graz, the capital of Austria's Styrian region. The Dutchman took to the squad's 2011 F1 World Championship winning RB7 for a tour up the tree-lined Schlossberg Hill, passing the 16th century Wurtum clock before driving straight into the Casa Martin venue built inside the walls of the ancient fort.
It's definitely one of the most challenging show runs I've done. It's not easy going through all the bumps and stuff with the car, and you have to be careful to hit the right road, but it was a lot of fun.
It was also an unforgettable moment for Dr. Marko.
Of course, it makes me very proud to have such an event here in Graz. Graz was always supporting the Austrian Grand Prix in a good and big way, but this event is something special.
Over at Hangar 7, Pierre Gasly met with Red Bull Air Race reigning world champion Martin Schonker for a high-G tour of the Red Bull Ring in his aerobatics plane capable of 400 kilometers an hour. Schonker didn't hold back, putting Gasly through some testing maneuvers in which he experienced up to 6.8 G, more than his F1 car.
Wow. I must say, he's been pushing me quite a lot. So no, I had few minutes. I needed few minutes when we came back on the ground, just to feel better. But now really impressive and insane. Just to the sensation and the view you have as well. Yeah, I must say it scared me properly a couple of times.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.